Welcome back, Lions Nation. A little sad today after the loss yesterday at the home opener right there at Ford Field. And I know there's a lot of conversation today, a little armchair quarterbacking, trying to figure out what went wrong. So, we convened the genius sports minds here at Local 4, led by Derek Hutchinson. He's our Click on Detroit sports columnist. And he wanted to sit down and just get some input on what everyone's thinking. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Derek Hutchinson. I lead our Lions coverage on ClickOnDetroit.com. Today, we're going to talk about a disappointing week 2 for the Lions. First week,
it was good news. The coach said.
First week, we beat the Super Bowl champs. We're feeling good. We're back home. We're wearing ski masks, and then that happens. So, how are we feeling? What's our pulse?
All right, I'm not too disappointed in that loss because I was looking ahead at the schedule, and I think their next 3 games against young quarterbacks, I think they have the opportunity to rip off a few wins here, and we'll forget about this game. It'll be in the rearview mirror. So I'm not in panic mode, but man, that defense needs to shore up, man. It took a while to gel last year, and with all the new secondary, I knew it was going to take at least a couple weeks for those guys to gel. But man, Jerry Jacobs had an awful game yesterday. My God. But I think they'll get better.
Much better.
No, but I think they'll get better. I'm not in panic mode yet.
Jason, how you feeling?
I don't know. I'm kind of torn because before the season started, I was not buying into the super hype, and I'm like, it would be so Lions for them to win 9 games. And I still think they're going to probably somehow fall in. They're going to be playing right around 9 games at some point, no matter what we think. But I'm very disappointed in the fact that it completely undoes going into Kansas City and winning that game. You can't come home, have a crowd that's more jacked up than you've ever had, probably moving the bearings of Ford Field, the moorings, if you will, and you can't lose that game, especially to a team that you should have all the motivation to beat in the world. You lost to them last year. They knocked you out of the playoffs technically by winning. It's just infuriating to me.
Yeah, I think we thought maybe they'd be 1-1, but maybe they would have lost at Kansas City, come home, and we'd feel good about a win against the Seahawks. But yeah, obviously it feels a little bit different coming back and losing. What I want to talk about is the clock management.
Yes.
The Lions get the ball back with 1:44 remaining, okay? 3 timeouts, down by 3, and they play for overtime.
Played for overtime.
They instead of trying to win the game, they put the fate of the game on a coin flip. What are you thinking?
Listen, I know it irritated you. I'm not even gonna lie. I was annoyed as well because they had enough time to do something more than dink and dunk down the field. They didn't do it, but I was like, you know what? It's fine because we got to the other side. There's an overtime. We'll be fine. We weren't fine.
No.
It was unfortunate how that whole thing worked out. You know
They
what I'm
were
saying?
running so much clock
Yeah.
too. Like they were just in cruise control. They were just hanging out. They weren't in any. There was no urgency on the field.
Right.
And they had so much time. They
And they were playing great. The offense was on fire.
They were moving the ball, and I don't know. Was it just Goff not finding routes? Was it because like he was checking down over and over again? So like maybe the routes weren't open. Maybe they were trying to do it, but we just couldn't see it. But man, once it got to like 40, 30 seconds, and they were just standing at the line of scrimmage, like trying to call a play. I'm like, come on, guys.
They ran 2 plays. They got 23 yards on 2 plays.
Yes, right out of the
and
gate.
all of a sudden, there's 30 seconds left.
Yeah.
And you're sitting at the 27-yard line, and it's kind of like, well, now if we take a risk, we're maybe going to turn the ball over or something. When you have 1:44 and 3 timeouts, that's plenty of time. But obviously, Dan Campbell all game, he's going for 4th downs. He's taking risks, and then the game is on the line, and he sort of switches his mindset. I mean, do you guys think that he should be more conservative throughout the game?
I understand you can't be a madman and just be going for everything all the time, and you have to pick and choose and be strategic. But if you would have told me that a Dan Campbell coach team didn't take at least 1 shot at the end zone with all that time and you were making plays and getting in position, as soon as they had success, I thought, all right, this is great. You got to at least see if we can get the win right now.
Would you reel it in a little bit if you were Dan Campbell? Not go for as many 4th downs, not take as many risks?
I don't think so. I think most of his risks paid off pretty well yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they missed on 1 4th down, but they did that 4th down conversion in the red zone, and it led to a touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, that was huge, and they passed on some field goals, which who knows? I mean, our kicker has barely kicked any field goals this year.
Yeah.
He did it at the end of regulation, but I mean, I think
down the middle.
I think that his theory just. It kind of just died at the end of the game. It didn't make any sense.
And it's not the first time that's happened. I think Minnesota last year was one of those where it's just, he's a young coach. I know he's still learning, but you can't be hyper aggressive in the first quarter and then at the end of the game, all of a sudden everything puckers up and you're like,
If he doesn't fake punt deep in the Lions' own territory, we lose to the Chiefs. So that mentality got the Lions a win against the Chiefs, and then it just disappears. It bit him. So I think he'll learn from it, but I think he needs to find a little bit of a happy medium. Sometimes you take risks. Sometimes you need to trust your defense. to get the ball
Okay, so
away.
let me ask you this: when we were going to overtime, were you worried?
I'm always worried because the
That's fair.
overtime rule, you're putting the game on a coin
That's
flip,
fair.
essentially. It felt like that game was going to be won by whoever got the ball
Well,
first.
especially with how the defenses were playing.
The defenses weren't playing.
There was no confidence at all.
Yeah,
Like,
the Lions were beaten up and everything. Yeah.
but that's why they should have. That's why they should have tried to win it in the regulation because
I immediately felt deflated.
the
when they didn't
defense,
try.
yeah, the defense was never going to save that game for them.
Yeah.
And so they should have been like, the offense is clearly what's working in this game. Let's take full advantage of that and have control of the game and just win it now. But
Completely agree. Yeah.
it's just, it doesn't make any sense.
If you're a Seahawks fan, you probably would have felt great that they played for the field goal there. Yeah. Because if it was the roles were reversed, I'm like, oh man, we can't stop them. They're going all the way down the field here.
Do we hate the Seahawks now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
We hate the Seahawks. Okay. Is it what? Packers, Bears, Seahawks? Is that
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
It feels like Seattle came in and just punked Detroit, like the entire city,
Yes.
not just the
The
Lions.
ski
It felt like,
mask in the locker room afterwards.
yeah.
Ooh.
All right. Last thing.
and we made Geno Smith look like a Hall of Famer again. My God.
Self-inflicted wounds. You didn't talk about that either, but that's one too, where
And,
it's
and
like
could Jameer Gibbs make a play? I mean, I'm ready to see this guy just do something.
give him some carries and some pass attempts. I mean, I know he dropped another one this week, but still, you
All
got to
right.
keep feeding.
Still
that
drinking the
guy.
Kool-Aid? Yes or no?
I'll always be a Lions fan in the same vein, which is I'm hopeful no matter what.
Ben.
Oh yeah, I'm still drinking the Kool-Aid for sure.
He's an alcohol.
I woke up chugging the Kool-Aid, but I will say, I think that they couldn't have possibly played worse and had worse luck yesterday with some of those calls and turnovers, and they were basically a coin flip from winning that game. So that gives me some confidence.
Sorry.
Light sipper. I think I'm still going to show up for every game, but it's just now I'm more tempered than I was a week ago. So
Ken wakes up with an IV
Come
bag
on.
of Kool-Aid in his arms.
Hey, it could be worse. We could be Jets fans, all right? So
Cheers to that.
there's always that.
That is true.
clink, clink.
Cheers. Clink.
All right, there you go. Our post-game Kool-Aid water cooler Lions talk. I love it. Love that, guys. So make sure you go to clickondetroit.com. You can see all things Lions, and you can read everything that Derek has written as well. Tell us what you think. We'd love to hear about it, and we'll have more water cooler chat next Monday for you.